Hello and welcome back. This is a nice Friday evening video. I don't normally do videos on a Friday evening, but it's not very often that I get the amazing opportunity to spend 45 minutes with my soul sister, Amelia Love. Thank you for being here, my love. It's so good to see you.
Hello, hello, hello. It's so good to see you. And I have to tell everybody that we didn't plan that we were wearing red. No one believes us. When we went on with Charlie Ward, me, you, and Charlie were wearing pink. Today, we were, literally both just rushing to get ready. And I nearly put my red scarf on. So you guys were this close to seeing both of us looking like Blood's gang members of the video. There you go.
I mean, we are so soul sisters, like we've never actually met in person this lifetime, but we know each other inside out and backwards, and I'm just really privileged, babe, to get some of your time this evening. My world knows how much I adore you, and it's just wonderful to have you here. And tonight, ladies and gents, we are going to be talking about fearless female. So, Amelia and I were chatting and we were like, we want to do something, almost like calling in the warrior woman, allowing people to step up, calling in the true divine masculine. And Amelia kept getting the word fearless. And as soon as she said it to me, I was like, fearless females, this is what we've got to do. Like, we need to remember what we've been sent here to do. So, Amelia, do you want to give a little bit of background on you, just really high level, because I think it's inspiring for people to know where you've come from and what you do, and then let's step right into the trenches, for want of a better word.
Okay, so I wish there was some way I could do it where it was like one sentence and it just said everything. But I went through major medical stuff in the early 2000s, in my early 20s, was in bed for 4 years, read 1,000 books. The subjects of those books were everything from psychology, Reiki, acupuncture, whirling dervishes, the whole thing. I was always an unusual child. I was walking and talking at 9 months old. My mother did not like taking me to mother and baby groups because it was embarrassing, because I would get up and walk and talk to the other children and they couldn't even barely focus. So so it was quite interesting. And then in 2009 to 2011, I went on another study mission. I'd had a romantic experience that showed me that there was something within me that was not for my benefit, that was self-sabotaging, something that was basically trying to hurt me and trying to ruin my life. And I realized there was something within, this enemy within. And so for 2 years, I studied the darkness because I knew this thing was of the dark. And by the end of 2011, I had reached enlightenment, which is where you have put your ego into a slumber. You cannot kill the ego. Anyone who tells you they've killed it, they're lying. They don't know what they're talking about. But you can at least put it in a slumber where you've got control of it 99.99999% of the time. And so then I was actually a rapper. So all this was happening during the time that I was in and out of music studios with all the famous rappers and met all the people that, everyone sees on the TV and stuff like that, flying on private jets with Puff Daddy and doing all sorts of random things. And then decided that it was time to set up my coaching company, or at least I was told it was time. I have very, very clear guidance. I hear God directly. I have angels with me all the time that speak to me directly. I hear them all the time. And so I was guided to set up my coaching company. Now I have hundreds of clients all over the world. I have I have a CEO that runs my coaching company, but I have 8 coaches now that work with me. We're opening a men's division, and the goal is to unite and heal the whole of the planet, starting with the women. And then finally, you guys are probably all aware of Lucy Davis's involvement with Empress Evolution. That's something that I founded in October of 2019 with the goal of uniting and healing the divine feminine. So
amazing.
That's a quick
bio and such an I will put Amelia's details below, so her Instagram and everything like that, guys. So if you want to go and follow her, please do. If you've got any questions and it's not below, just drop a comment on here and I can come back to you. So babe, let's talk about, you and I have literally, we're united. One of your clients and a friend of mine mutually connected us, and since then it was literally like we have been reunited this lifetime, and we are on one hell of a mission, aren't we? Like you just alluded to, it's very much about the increase of the divine feminine on the planet, the healing of the divine feminine, bringing the divine feminine back, for want of better words. And I feel that when you and I do videos with other spiritual, beautiful souls, we are kind of like the badasses, for want of better words, because we are like bullets, you know. And I guess, you know, you've given a little bit of insight, obviously your rap career and things like that, and people obviously know about my corporate career. What else do you think it is that drives this fearless female inside of you? Because I'd love to hear.
Well, luckily my angels are jumping straight in and have been since we started talking. And what they explained to me is fearlessness really comes from love, which is interesting because they made me wear this hat instead of the red scarf, the red bandana. The thing is that when you can fearlessly love yourself, when you can fearlessly love your planet, when you can fearlessly be in a romantic relationship, fear really is the source of all the evil when you think about it. Fear is the food of the ego, the shadow within. And so when you become fearless, you've basically become egoless, which means, again, remember, ego's still alive. It's just sleeping. If you've done all of the work, it will wake up if you're tired, sick or hungry. It will still raise its ugly head, but you will hear it and its voice will sound weird because you haven't heard it for so long. So what is fearlessness? It is someone who lives in a state of total love. And those that are still holding fear still have places within themselves that they don't love. And so it really is, it's love. That's what fearlessness is.
I think that's beautiful, because quite frankly, everything that we are doing here on the planet right now is about taking us back to the love vibration. You know, I remember at the start of this pandemic, I was talking to people on Facebook, and it was way too early in the game. I'll be honest, it was way too early in the game. And I was saying to people, you know, this is about taking us back to the love vibration. They were like, shut up, Lucy. There's this thing going on. There's this virus. There's this, there's that. And I was there going, I don't see all of that. What I see is this ascension that's about to take place. And I think this is why me and you connect so truly, because you're British originally. You obviously live in America now. And it's almost like we've got this little web between America and the UK that is just kind of like linking us and lighting up the grid work to bring people back to love. So every single time that somebody gets scared out there, whether it be the mask, whether it be the virus, whether it be crossing the road, whether it be jumping out of a plane, what you're saying is there's an element within them that there is like a lack of love, which is allowing that fear to surface. Yeah.
Yes, although my angels don't say that the jumping out of a plane one is necessarily true, because actually they would probably not want me to do that, because the level of spiritual attack I'm under, it's quite likely that you know, that parachute would have been eaten through by some kind of caterpillar and something and something and something. So yeah, so I probably wouldn't be jumping out of any planes anytime soon. But yes, that fear is the food of the ego inside every human being, and this is the human experience. There's no exceptions. Anyone who says that they're different from this, they are in shadow. They're in ego. Basically, there's the higher self, which is the direct connection to God, and then there's the shadow, the ego, which is thoughts of separation from God. And so, the fear, the ego, basically it will live on old memories of fear. Now you have to clear everything from within this lifetime, so that basically it doesn't have any food anymore, because otherwise it will hide cheeseburgers under the rug just to have a snack on. And that way you can do the work yourself, the shadow work. And I feel very badly for those who do the shadow work by themselves, because it takes a long, long time. And only once you've really removed all the food does it really go to sleep. And it will lead you in circles, you see, because the ego, the shadow, is as intelligent as you. And it knows all your memories, and it knows everything bad that's ever happened to you. It uses everything against you. And that is why people don't understand. That's why they're like, oh, I feel so conflicted. Oh, I'm in two minds about things. Oh, I'm so indecisive. All this shit basically means you have an awakened. If your head has noise, if you hear stuff, oh, I can't stop the chatter. Oh, there's so much going on in my head. All ego. It's all ego. It's all ego. This is not the ego they talk about in the movies when they say, oh, that someone has a big ego. They think they're great. Well, I think I'm great. It's not that. It's not that. You know, ego is these thoughts of separation from God that lives within the reptilian mind here at the back of the head. And it loves and lives on subconscious and conscious pain from your past. and you will actually inherit your ego from your parents. It's what they had not evolved from when they conceived you. So that's why you have to trace back and do healing on your parents too, because and the relationship with them and understanding their attributes and that maybe their faults and things like that. This is how you heal a human, basically.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love that, because I know firsthand, a bit like yourself, like we've had pretty traumatic medical experiences this lifetime, and I know, you know, I was carrying an ancestral line that went 7 generations deep on my mum's side, all in and around the womb. And it's only when somebody is brave enough to say, this stops with me, that it literally does stop with you. And I just love the fact that you've touched on that, because yes, we must heal this lifetime first, but then we've got to go back through our parents and whatever, especially if you're in the kind of role that you're in or I'm in, where we're actually helping people through their ascension, you know. And this is really what tonight was supposed to be about. It's about acknowledging some of the key things that are holding people back, but also just letting you guys know that everybody can do this.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's exactly what my angels just said. When you say people that are in our position, I am here to teach the teachers.
Yeah,
I am, and so is Lucy. And basically, all of you watching this are teachers. We can't do this by ourselves. I was, honestly, it was a lot. Before I met Lucy, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to carry all of this. It was like literally trying to carry too much as one person. So when Lucy came along and was able to take some of the weight I had, but also like the weight that she's carrying in the future with the, you know, regards to the children and stuff, it was like a relief. It was such a relief. It didn't make our jobs that much easier, but it from the point of view, because there's always, you know, mo peace, mo problems, people. Really, the higher your vibration gets, the more responsibilities and missions get put on you, the more guides appear, the stronger the messages, the more they want you to do shit you don't want to do. It's just this is what it is. But yes,
it's non-stop.
Oh yeah, it is. And they have no idea. Most of the guides have never been in a human body, and so they don't know. So they will give me messages when I'm lifting a barbell or when I'm in my bed trying to sleep, you know. So they it's not like they wait until I'm sat there going, right, deliver the messages. It doesn't work like that, you know. But yes, the fearlessness is about balancing your masculine and feminine. And the thing that I heard so clearly, though, is that the most important thing when we talk about love actually is the romantic love. The romantic love is really important, because when the romantic love is in a true unconditional state, and the man's being a man and the woman's being a woman, and again, I have clients that are in same-sex relationships. It's just not my experience, so I can't speak on it. So I just speak on what I know. But actually being able to get balance within love relationships is actually how we're going to create heaven on earth. And that's why it's been so targeted. That's why it's been so inverted. That's why the men have been trained so much to hurt us. That's why the women have been trained so much to become nagging, moaning, gossiping, like, do you know what I mean? Negative thinking about themselves. All this stuff is all to just try and cause as much division as possible. So the way we fight back is by loving the men. But loving the men with a layer of protection over us. That's how we do it. So we have a layer of protection of self-glorification, where we absolutely adore and worship ourselves. So we won't allow anyone to go beyond any of our boundaries. But then we actually love these men. And we love other women as well as our friends, and we love them as our sisters. And everything you do it from a place of love. And that is what a fearless warrior is. That's what they've misunderstood, the enemy. The enemy doesn't understand love. That is our weapon. And it creates the most fearless warriors. Think of, like, you know, in those movies with like Mel Gibson or whatever, in the Scotland, and, you know, like this, they're going to protect their family. Why do you think those warriors were so brave? They were so brave because they were fighting to protect their families. That's what the energy is. And that's bringing up goosebumps, sorry, but that's what this energy is. This is the war cry. And I'm not going to claim to have, I actually heard it first out of Lucy's mouth, the mother's war cry. Well, I'm calling it generally just the women's war cry. This is the war cry, but I want you to understand part of that war cry is knowing how to be in a man's company and be gentle and nurturing and relaxed, and knowing how to choose the man that you can do that around. Loving yourself enough to choose the right man you can do that around, And not all of them are perfect, are they, Lucy? You know, so yeah. So, but at the same, that's because a lot of them have been trained to hurt us and they don't know it. So in which case it's just being patient with them sometimes. And again, keeping this shield up so that you have this, and the shield is not like the shield of pain from previous painful experiences. You'll see that on them. No, your shield is self-glorification, which means anything that doesn't feel like they are adoring you, then you just go, nope, 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 we're not doing that. Nope, that's it.
Yeah, I love that, because the other thing that I just want to raise the consciousness on it as well is the fact that there is a lot of us women, and I'm going to put my hand up to this because this used to be me, that have stepped into the male role because, oh, don't worry, I'll just do it myself. Oh, well, I don't need no man to survive, because that was me. Literally, I didn't need no man to survive. There was one thing men were good for. That's how I was about 10 years ago. So
oh, yeah.
What do you think that brings? If that is your mentality, and if any of you are laughing out there going, oh my God, that's me, please know, if you are putting that out to the universe and you are basically saying they're only good for one thing, do you know what they're going to be good for? One thing.
Oh, even that. Honestly, you actually won't get that. I tell you what will happen. If you're all, oh, I'm Miss Independent. I mean, of course, you should have your shit together. You should have a nice house and a good career and your money together. And that's just expected, because if you've done the self-work, you will be living a reasonably good life. That just goes without saying. So people shouldn't be feeling like that's some kind of thing to be like, whoa. Then what will happen though, if you're too much like that, the men that have got the most healing energy, because all men have healing energy, spiritual and non-spiritual, they're going to be put off by it. So what you're actually going to attract is little fucking boys. They might be big in size, but they can't do shit, and they have very little healing energy. So what happens is when you're trying to take all that masculine energy, you're attracting the men with the least masculine energy, because the ones with the most masculine energy will be drawn to the woman who knows how to breathe in their space, who knows how to allow them to lead when they're maybe in a social thing, that she can just breathe and feel safe and protected. And now I'm hearing women being like, oh, where is that guy? Here's the difference. Practice with guys that you're not even having like a sexual relationship with. Have platonic friends that just treat you with respect, that will maybe hold, you hold their arm if you're in a pair of heels. Get used to being treated with respect by men, so that then you're able to pick men that will show the right level of respect. But I really want people to understand this was a really new discovery, this healing energy that the men have, but you can only absorb it if you have this shield of love around you. And then it becomes an exchange of energy, and they become addicted to the positive energy that they get from being around you. And something I just heard was, many women, they're on guard. They have a shield, but it's an on guard, like this. And that what that actually does is they're expecting the man to hurt them, but the man is trying to love them. The men have just been trained by all the mind control and the television and all the weird shit and music and all the stuff to hurt us. So you have to understand that these men are stepping forward into your life because they want to love you. Now, yeah, they may want to have sex with you. That's because you're gorgeous. That's okay that they want to have sex with you. Whether they get to have sex with you is up to you. And you decide that based upon how you feel and how adored you feel. If you don't feel adored, I probably wouldn't recommend doing it, because when that physical act happens without the man feeling the right energy for you, then you're actually having negative energy put inside you.
Yeah, I love that. And do you know what? We don't talk about sex enough. I talk about it, you probably talk about it. I talk about orgasms and all sorts of different things, and how powerful that they can be. But, we haven't really normalized the fact that we should be, we shouldn't be having sex with people just to make them love us. I think that's a really...
Oh, well, it won't. And that's the thing, it actually won't. You see, if this is mainly girls watching, I feel like I'm going to give this little nugget of information. Men fall in love with you when they're not with you. It's not when they're with you. Yeah. Women fall in love in person. So in person, you're seeing how you feel when you're around him. You're feeling how adored, how cherished, how many times he compliments you, how special he makes you feel. Does he make you feel better than any guy that you've ever met before? And if not, keep looking, because there will be, because this is what I'm saying. Why are you feeling like, oh, this is something I have to hold on to? That's the devil whispering. I heard that the other day. The devil loves to whisper someone's the best you're going to get. In reality, there's someone even nicer 3 weeks down the line showing up. Like, you just don't feel like there's some lack. There isn't. There's an abundance of men. There's as many of them as there are us. There's plenty of them, you know? But it's really important. Sorry, I lost my train of thought now. What did I say just before that? So everyone can see, this is what me and Lucy are like. I had something and then I was going here and then I was like, oh, went too far that way. Now I can't come back to center again. Where was it? But I know it was just basic. I know. But all I know is that basically this is about us. No, it's about sex. That's what we were talking about. We're talking about sex, but it's okay to be celibate for a while. It's a good thing to do it after a relationship. And it's really good to, at the same time, spend time absorbing male energy where you can be in that female role. I actually had a conversation with a guy about this the other day, because he was like, isn't it hard for you being like a spiritual guru, like picking a man? Like, how does that work? And this guy's like super successful in what he does and la, la, la. And I just said, you know what? I just love being able to just be a girl. With a man that's a man, you can just be a girl.
Yeah.
You know, you hold on to his arm and you're crossing the street. He's going to take care of dinner and whatever. Like, you're safe when you're with them. Like, you can just feel this masculine energy around you, and you can just be a girl, and it refreshes you and it refills you to then get back out there as the warrior that we are. But being able to, so fearlessness, when we first came on, it really was saying that fearlessness is knowing how to love. And I think one of the main problems within the female community, within the heterosexual community of females, is not knowing how to love. Yes. But it does start with self-love. It starts with doing the inner work. It starts, you know, if you haven't worked with Lucy, if you want to work with someone, work with Lucy or myself, and get there, guys, because you want to love yourself. I know everyone said this. I hate saying stuff that's like all the other coach people say, but the reality is you have to love yourself. The only thing is most of the time they're saying it, but they're not giving you an actual solution. I'm saying, no, we have the solution. Like, we can actually teach you to love yourself, because you can see that we love ourselves, and you can see from our clients that we get them there. But being able to be in a man's company without hurting him, without being bitter, without being paranoid, without sitting there and like firing questions at them like they're in an interview, without making them stay with you for hours and hours and hours and hours and not wanting them to leave, allowing them to breathe. Yeah. And also, just, men love women that are busy and happy. So if you're not currently busy and happy, that's your job, ladies. Get busy, get happy. Get busy helping the world, get busy helping other women, get happy, do the inner work, get busy and happy. And then when you're in the company of a man who has shown that he is worthy of your company, relax into that energy and refuel, because you're going to run out of juice otherwise.
Do you know what? I love that you've said that, because as you know, because it was you that challenged me to do this, or at least we discussed it, I'm actually doing this thing at the moment where I'm going on 21 dates. And, you know, I've been single since early 2017. You know, I've dated a couple of people since then, but I haven't been in a relationship. I'm being completely honest, I haven't. And, you know, at the beginning of lockdown in March 2020, I was ready to start dating again. But obviously we all got banished to our rooms, so I had to put that on ice. But you know, I was actually lucky enough, Amelia let me do her program a short time ago, and off the back of that we were like, right, okay, it's time to start dating again. And I've recently started dating, and last night I actually went on a date, and everything that you are saying to me is how it was last night. I had my arm in his arm as we were crossing the road. Like, he took care of it.
Just nice. Men's arms are just lovely.
I love arms, mate. You know, me and you have spoken about this a lot. I'm a real arms person. I really am. I just love them. But it was so nice. And to your point, although I had a late night last night and an early start today, I felt so revitalized. I felt so refreshed. You know, and it was just so beautiful to be in a man's company, and nothing was a problem, and nothing, you know, and just be like literally just be
a girl.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, let me cancel this. This is mummy. Hold on. Oh, it's all happening. 1 second. There we go.
Sorry, Mum.
Yeah, I'll have to message
15
her.
minutes and she'll be free.
Oh, no, yeah, that's true. Hold on 1 second. Mum, I'll call you back in 20 minutes. That's how real it is, people.
Well, you know.
She keeps. Mum, I'm in a meeting. I'll call you back in 15 minutes. Well, you can tell it's my mum. She rings again.
Definitely your mother. But the truth of the matter is, and you know, you can be a fearless female without being in a relationship. You absolutely can. But to Amelia's point, you've got to start with yourself. You've got to love yourself. And it's something that I didn't get for many, many years until I physically burnt out. A bit like you know, you had to hit the deck before you could pick yourself up and recognize this in yourself. And yes, people can do it on their own. And yes, you know, some people do a better job than others, you know, but at the end of the day, I say this a lot, without you, you have nothing. You could be the most wealthy person on the planet. If you don't have your physical vessel working for you, if you are not in alignment with your physical vessel and loving every ounce of you, you know, because I don't know about you, Amelia, but a lot of my clients, they come along to Self-Love Club and they're like, well, I hate my mum or I hate my dad. And
that's the ego's fuel, which is why they continue to hate elements of themselves.
Yeah,
it's all connected. Everything's connected. People just think it's all spread out like jigsaw pieces, and there's little jigsaw pieces in every piece of the house. Put them all together, it's one picture. It's just the ego, it's just the shadow, it's just the darkness within that comes from thoughts of separation from God. I mean, people need to understand, like, where are we? We're on this ball in the universe, moving through the galaxy, and how did we get here, and what's going on? And I'm not going to attempt to answer all of life's biggest questions, but I will say this, you know, God wanted to experience the full expansiveness of what consciousness was. So to do that, he had to give free will and give the option to be in separation from source, from God. And so that option, you have the freedom to fuck up. That's what people have, that's been passed down through humanity. But it's also possible to heal it now. You can heal it. And there are teachers like ourselves, like my program, you can do it in 6 weeks. It's like, this isn't like some, like, you know, 6 years going sitting on a mountaintop and blah, blah, blah. It's not like that. Spirituality is becoming something that, you know, there's certain people that have incarnated down here, like myself with the rap music. It was learning how to condense words and get the maximum effect. That's why I believe I did the music first. So now I'm able to condense something that's probably one of the most complex things on the planet. It probably is the most complex thing in humanity, and make it simple and make it just something like, right, we need to do this, 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 and this, and you'll feel better. All right, cool. All right, let's do it. You know, and it becomes, and the difference is as well is that, again, I'm not trying to be anything important. I'm actually just trying to create as many teachers as possible. And that's what I'm succeeding in doing. And it's like, those teachers are going to change the world. It's them that's going to change the world. And, you know, many of the people watching here actually incarnated down to become masters, not just teachers. And, you know, a year after, you know, being with me, I now have like 6 to 7 masters. I have 6 masters and one that's about to hit mastery. You know, so again, these are people who are now the same way that I'm a master of the shadow. They're a master of their area. So I would even I would say, you know, if someone has a question about that, I would, oh, you need to go to this master about that. Oh, you've got a meditation question? Go to Stephanie. Oh, you have a question about love? Oh, go to June. Oh, you have a question about the heart? Sylvia. You see what I'm saying? Look, I'm gonna, you know, it's amazing.
Absolutely. And it's, and that's what I always share with people, is that I'm here to just remind you what you've got. I'm here to remind you of the eternal truth, and that is what it is. You know?
Unlearn, relearn, remember.
Yeah.
We're all just at different states of remembrance. Me and Lucy are just at a higher state of remembrance. We've remembered more.
Exactly.
Before we incarnated down here, we set alarm clocks to ensure that we went through enough pain so that we would be awake in time to do this mission. And we did it, and our alarm clocks worked. We set a few more than we probably needed to, and we wouldn't want to go through any of it ever again. And I bet this resonates with a lot of you, because all of you watching are Earth Angels. If you're watching us, I'm telling you, if you're watching us, you're Earth Angels, because if you were not, you'd be like, who's this bitch? Who the fuck does she think she is? I'm not watching this shit. And you would go and watch Neighbours or EastEnders or some shit. So the reality is you are Earth Angels. Yeah. So that means you are here to heal others, but you first have to heal yourself. And the sky's the limit in how far you can get. Permanent happiness, permanent peace is real. It's possible. We live it. It's real. It's possible. But even now in this crazy time, because this is how we create heaven on earth. You know, we talk about Mr. T. Mr. T is taking on Satan. So that's why he needs God's army. That's why this is all of us coming together. And that's why there's people like Dr. Charlie Ward, who's a good friend of both of us, and Simon Parks. And there's all these different people that have incarnated down here to help with this. And that's what we're all doing. We're all in mission. That's what you guys are witnessing, is people are in mission, doing what God wants them to be doing.
And everybody has got respective roles, right? Everybody. There isn't one person on this planet at the moment that doesn't have a role and a purpose in this. It's just whether they're remembering it or not, right? Because a lot of people say, oh, well, it's all right for you, you know your mission. Like Amelia just said, there was so many alarm clocks, and painful alarm clocks, for us to remember our mission. This wasn't something that we just, you know, we just woke up as a 2-year-old and was like, right, you know, we've got to help the divine feminine. We've got to help people remember. It wasn't like that. You know, we had to break bones. We had to get very sick. Amelia had to be in bed for 4 years. Do you get what I mean? Like, there was so much that we had to experience so that we were like, oh,
yeah, I nearly died so many times. I nearly bled out through my kidneys so many times in hospital. They thought I was going to die so many times. And I had to be at peace with it. I think once you get to peace with death, it makes you be able to live so much better.
Yeah, you know? I agree. My near-death experience, it's interesting. I did nearly bleed out. Like I had to have a multiple blood transfusion because I was so close to death. And there, something does change in you at that point. You know, my awakening had started much earlier than that, but this was like, you haven't quite done your healing and this is going to be the thing to do it, you know. And also it gave me the gold of my twin flame, and like literally off the back of that I was like, oh my gosh, like all of the dominoes just got slotted into place. So if you are at the start of your journey, I guess my point of sharing this is allow it to evolve. You will get where you need to be in exactly the time that you need to be there. Don't be sat there going, oh, well, I don't know my purpose and I don't know how to love and I've not bled out or I've not had a near-death experience. Doesn't matter. Maybe your alarm clocks are different. All we need is you to step up into it.
Yeah, I agree, but I also know most people are just getting in their own way.
Yeah.
And so, because that's what the ego does. It stops you. Imagine this is the path you need to get on. It will keep going, go here, go left. Imagine you have to go right to go the correct way to go on mission. And go left, go left. Left is great. Left is wonderful. Why don't you go to left? Left. And this is what your ego is doing. And so a lot of people are going left. Yeah. It takes a lot of strength to go right and say, right, I don't care how hard it is. I'm going to face my demons. I'm scared to book a call with Amelia or her CEO. I'm scared to speak to them, but I'm going to do it because it's a phone call. I'm not going to die from being on a phone call. It's that kind of thing, you know, or I'm going to do, you know, making these decisions that you're going to do something. It's taking action. Allow that masculine side, the action, to come up and take some action, do something. And then at the same time, understand that, yes, so there's levels to this. You can't be a mission if you're not healed. You can't be a teacher if you haven't healed. So you have to heal yourself, then become a teacher, and then you have something to teach, which is your mission. But do you see what I'm saying? So don't try and run before you can walk. And all of you have had alarm clocks. All of you have had alarm clocks. They're ones that you chose before you incarnated down here. Not everyone's is health. That's just what me and Lucy did, was health. Some people were raped. Some people were abused by parents. Some people were beaten up by boyfriends. Some people had siblings that did crazy stuff. Some people actually had quite nice childhoods and then later on had someone come in their life that just caused absolute misery. Whatever it is, everyone's got different stories. But the healing's always the same. Yeah. Starve the ego, put it to sleep, live in a state of peace, hear God, follow God's instructions. The more you listen, the more guides arrive, the louder the guides get, because the more silent the ego is, the more of them arrive, the more you do what you're supposed to do, the more you continue to receive God drugs, which is this like natural high that you get from being completely on the right path. And that's what keeps us going. I mean, everyone else would have burnt out by now, because they're like, huh? You've been doing this how long? You know? And we do get tired, but then that's when we've overextended too much action, too much masculine energy, and not spent some time in girl time, because we are here to be women in this lifetime, and we need to spend time in that women's role. So that's why it's really important that me and Lucy refuel, and any women who can relate to that you take the time to refuel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's something that we've been conditioned and mind controlled to believe is selfish and not necessary, but it is necessary. We must take that time out. It doesn't matter if it's a salt bath or spending time with your girlfriends, or like I did last night, go out on a date with somebody that is literally just going to take charge. You don't need to make any decisions, you don't need to drive, you don't need to do anything. Just get yourself ready, get to your front door, and I'll pick you up, and the rest is sorted for you. You know, that is allowing your energy, your divine feminine energy to be healed. You're allowing that protection, you are allowing that self-love, and then by default, the man or the girls that you're out with or whatever, they feel the ultimate love because you're surrendering to the love in their company, if that makes sense, of yourself.
That's it. You become addictive. You become addictive for them, because you're flowing out what they need. You see, because this is what I'm beginning to witness. I can see the damage that's been done to a lot of these men. When you're around them, and I don't know if you notice this too, but you can notice the little things that make them a little bit like a caged animal, like a little bit cagey, they're like a little bit, you know, whether it's like, you know, girls firing all these questions at them, and it's just like, well, what do we really need to know right now? Like, we're just getting to know each other, like we can breathe, let's see where we are, you know what I mean? At the same time, if you're expecting certain things from me that I'm not ready to give, then that might be because we need more time, and some of those questions will be answered in that time. It's being able to own your own stuff, and then at the same time, like, it really is, like I said, you have to have this magic shield of love around you that knows that you're worthy. And understand that these guys, like I said, they've been trained to hurt, and they've also, you can see where women have literally left wounds on them. And so instead of repeating the wounds that those women have done, maybe the guy is, I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say, like, so say you see a wound with a guy where maybe he's like distrusting, you know, maybe he's wealthy, okay? Maybe he's wealthy. I'll give you an example that I saw the other day. So, for example, I said to this guy, he was paying for food, and I went, your card's the same as mine. And I leant forward to like look at his card. Like, I said, oh, it's the same as mine. And I saw something like tense in his shoulders, because maybe a girl's tried to actually steal his credit card before, like for real. But then I pulled mine out and I showed him, and mine was the same color, from the same company, from the same everything, and it was the same. I saw him relax, because I meant it. I wasn't saying it as in, does that make sense? So you can see that that's where someone has a wound. So what we need to start doing, ladies, is we got to help heal these men. And the way we heal them is recognize their wounds. And instead of repeating the thing or calling them out on it, oh, what, you don't trust me, and taking it personally, just understand that this person might take a little bit more time to feel safe in your company. Because here's the thing, we feel physically safe and protected in their company because they're bigger and stronger than us. They feel safe with us when we emotionally are careful with them, because these men are actually sensitive on the inside. We've been trained to treat them like they're not, but they are. Like, you know, these big, strong hearts that go into war going, rah! That's a lot of feel. That's a lot of feel. So we've got to be more gentle with them. And recognize the wounds the other women have left. Don't name them, don't shame them. Just you personally recognize their wounds so you can understand how to treat them, so that you can give them more healing energy. And the healing energy isn't necessarily what they want. They might be like, yeah, I need some good head. I'm like, okay, well, that's nice. But first of all, we're going to have a nice walk. We're going to have a nice walk together first. And do you see what I'm saying? And maybe you can give me a foot massage. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't necessarily have to give them what they want. Don't understand. I'm not trying to, you have to imagine we're reviewing all of the roles that have been on this earth. We're not being submissive and catering to men that are controlling. We are choosing guys that are generous and kind, and then allowing them to heal in our company and allowing them to heal us.
Exactly. I love that. I absolutely love that, because I was guilty of, when I would see a male wound previously, I would think, okay, now I need to fix it. Like, this is a few years ago, you know, I would want to fix it. And actually, you're absolutely spot on. It's about surrendering, acknowledging, and just saying, right, when this surfaces again, we've got to be gentle. And it's only through your evolution, and I'm speaking to the people following here. I don't care if you're male or female. The fact that you are watching this, you need to take the lead role in this, because you might meet, let's talk like a heterosexual relationship, because again, that's me, like it is Amelia. If I met a man who was a man's man and he's a real, you know, not spiritual at all, it's up to me to be able to be beautiful and calm and patient so that his healing can take place, because then he will mirror that back to me. There will be a point where he sees me cry or something like that, and he will be patient with me, rather than going, oh, for God's sake, like, you know, because some people do, you get emotional and they say, oh, for God's sake, here you go again. And again, that's a wound. Why are they getting impatient with you? Because you're showing your emotions. What has happened in the past?
Yes, that's an important thing for us to end on, because I'm out of time. But that impatience thing, though, I do want to refer everyone to my fuckboys video on Instagram, where I do talk about the ones to avoid, though, because if you see impatience in someone within the first few meetups or messages or anything, that's not one that you necessarily need to try and heal or help them with, you know?
Exactly. Spot on. So what I'll do, Amelia,
it's okay, actually. She said she won't get here for another 10 minutes, so we're fine for him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good because we started late and now we've got a little bit more time, so that's good. But yeah, no, so the thing is that it's really important that, again, we have to choose your potential partner, choose them. You don't accept anyone who's interested, you choose them. I have this thing where from now on, it's going to be like, okay, so are you the man I've waited my whole life for? And if the answer, you know, because again, being honest, I'm getting really honest with myself as to what I really want in a guy. And, you know, I want a guy that's seen the inside of a gym. I don't want him to be a work in progress. I don't want him to be someone who, like, you know, who starts going to the gym just because of me, because then he would hold resentment. I need a man that already does that. I need a man that already has like clean manicured fingers and toes, whether he does it himself or goes to the salon. I don't want it to be something, I don't want to fix no one. I don't want to be anyone's mother. Yeah. So these are the things, like, get really clear on what you want, girls, because your love relationships are going to change everything. But if you're still in a place where you are having mood swings, where you are having self-confidence issues, where you are lacking love for self, you don't even need to be dating yet, because you're just going to keep redoing your cycles and attracting more people that are going to wound you more, and blah, 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 because that's how the dark works. You want to stop, clear all that out, have a break, and then re-enter this world of dating in a clean and fresh way, so that you actually are coming in and blessing people with your presence. And if they're not feeling okay.
Yeah, do you know what, you're bang on, because I was actually celibate for 14 months after me and my ex split up, because I mean, he thought I was cheating on him and all sorts of stuff, because I was just like, I need this relationship over, I need to go, I know I'm being called to do something, but I don't know what. He thought I was going crazy. So I actually took 14 months literally out. I didn't date anyone, I didn't, you know, just didn't do anything with anyone for 14 months, and it was incredible. Not that I think you have to do that, but I just feel, for me personally, it almost like reset the clock, and I have so much love for myself now because I took that time out for me. You know, because you are right. When you have sex with somebody, the male, if you're having sex with a man and you're a woman, they're dumping all of their emotions in you.
Yeah, and anyone else who they had sex with recently. So, you know, you've got to make sure you know really like who these people are and what they really are looking for. And at the same time, believe them. If a guy says he's not looking for a relationship, do you know what that means? It means he's not looking for a relationship. It's amazing, isn't it? It's like, you know, it's like truth. And they only lie when they get backed into a corner. So they tend to actually tell you. They just, you know, allow them to be able to tell you the truth. That's a really important one. Something else that just came up that is connected with self-love, and it is something that this is going to be very important for a few people that hear this. If there's any area that you feel like that you have a mild addiction, whether it's an addiction to being around people, you have an aversion to being alone, maybe you're drinking a bit too much, too often. It's been a while since you've had a day where you haven't had a drink. It could be time to challenge yourself. You know, I did 90 days of no alcohol around Christmas of 2019. I ended up having to go into 120 days because of COVID, because I couldn't, the date when I was due to be able to be allowed to have a drink fell with COVID. And I was like, oh, now I've got to help everyone through this. I was like, I can't go back to drinking, otherwise it looks like I'm drinking because of COVID. So I had to do another 20 days. But my point is this is how you heal yourself. Now, this alone, I need you to understand, like my clients, they've already done loads of work on themselves, a lot of them. They've already read a lot of books, maybe done therapy, worked with spiritual teachers, done other programs, whatever it is they've done already. The point is that that's the kind of people that come in and succeed. This isn't for everybody. This is for the strong people that are ready to actually like reach the finish line. They want to get to the end. They want to get to that place of permanent peace and permanent happiness. So what I'm saying though is feel into where you're having these addictions, even if they're very mild addictions, and then without even making a big drama out of it, if you feel like literally you just have to see people every day and you can't spend time by yourself, book some time by yourself, go away for the weekend. Just, you know, I know obviously a lot of girls in England, they're like, fuck this, I've been at home all this time for the lockdown. But you understand what I'm saying. But start becoming self-aware. Yeah. Become self-aware of where you are having self-sabotaging behavior and start mastering it.
Yeah, and I think observing the people that you are welcoming into your life as well. You know, as you know, recently I've spent time with my ex-partner because I had to live at his house for a little while. And my observation on him, and this is not me putting him down at all, he's an incredible human and I'm so grateful to him for having me stay there. My observation on him was he literally couldn't be on his own. And I actually felt very sad for him. But you know what? That's my ego. Because I was like, oh my God, if only he could see. So I had to do the work on me that was trying to do the fixing and just allow him to fly. Because do you know what? If I had sat him down and said, hey, babe, like, I've noticed that you just constantly need to be around somebody all the time. What do you think he would have done? Oh, here you go, nagging me, rah, 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 you know. So.
Oh, yeah, but also, honey, he knows enough about what you do that if he wanted some help, he could have asked for it.
Exactly.
And that's the difference. Someone else said that to me. They said, so when you're with a guy, is it like you're coaching them? And I went, absolutely not. No. I said, if someone wants coaching, they can book a free call. They can speak to my CEO and we can figure out that. I was like, I do not want to be with, if I feel like I need to coach someone, then that's not relaxing girl time for me. That's work time. Mm-hmm. I want to be with someone that I, you know, and I am such a girly girl. You know what I mean? I want flowers. I cook dinners. Like, you know, I like wearing pink dresses and, you know, it is what it is. So that's what I'm saying. So really being able to feel into your girly side and then at the same time being selective, especially because a lot of people are meeting people through the dating apps now. There's everybody out there. Learning how to see through, like, you know, again, spot impatience, spot people that are too thirsty, spot people that want too much instantaneous results. And get clear on what you want. Yes. Get clear on what you want. There's so many women, particularly in their early 30s that I met before who have, you know, they're just randomly dating random guys that like them. And I'm like, but what do you want? Like, you want a husband? You want kids? You want to live in a nice house together? And they're like, oh, of course I do. I'm like, well, then act like it. Date like it. And that's why for me, my latest thing is this the man I've been waiting my whole life for? That is the question that I ask. And if they happen to have a dad body and they're not really where I would want them to, you know, what I'm looking for, then I can, you know, and that's just, and it's, again, it's not where I'm like, oh, well, why is physical so important? It's not that. I want someone who it's their lifestyle to love themselves and to keep in shape because, you know, we're in our 40s. So at this point, a man either continues to maintain his muscle tone and his testosterone and looks after his body and he can keep that body into his 70s, or it's all downhill. So if someone hasn't been in the gym in 15 years, what are their chances of really changing that now? And again, I don't want to be the motivation.
No.
I want that motivation to be self-motivation. So it's really interesting. You know what I'm saying? Be clear on what you're looking for. You know, I want someone that's financially in a similar position to me or more. Why? Because I'd rather not have to raise someone up. Now I know I'm perfectly capable. If someone just blew my socks off in every other way, maybe. But here's the point. It's like I'm open to it, so I'm not shutting, you know, this is it. You have to be open to different heights, open to different ages, open to different careers, open, because you don't know who God is actually. God knows best, and he's going to send some people in, but he's also going to send some people in to show you who you don't want.
Yeah, of course.
So be prepared, guys. It's a hell of a journey. That's why you want to make sure you've balanced out your own shit. You've got everything with your friends and your family and your own self-love stuff together before you embark on the journey of trying to find the partner, because you choose the wrong one. Oh, it's like literally putting on handcuffs and jumping into the water with someone, like, you know, you could drown because of them.
Exactly. And I think a really good place to end is both men and women, please do not be embarrassed of having those standards. Do not be embarrassed of knowing what it is that you want and saying to somebody, you aren't actually what I'm looking for, because, you know, you will not bring in what is destined for you unless you get clear on your standards, unless you get clear on your wish list. I've got a wish list. Amelia, I imagine you've got one too. I know exactly what I'm looking for in a guy. And if, you know, like for me, smoking, it's a non-negotiable. If somebody smokes, that's it, they're gone. Like, I am just not interested. I was addicted to cigarettes for many, many years.
Yeah, I couldn't do cigarettes now either. I could not do a guy with cigarettes. I'd rather not do a guy that does weed, but it, you know, I'd rather not.
Yeah, agreed.
But again, you have your wish list, but it doesn't mean that you're negotiable. You know, I have an ex that was 5'10" and an ex that was 6'11", so I'm obviously not heightish, you know, and I don't need them to look like a supermodel. I mean, if they do, that'd be fun. But, you know, that's the point, though, is that it's, for me, it's about how do they feel when you're with them? How do you feel when you're with them? Do you feel safe? Do you feel sexy? Do you feel girly? Are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
Is he picking you apart or is he building you up? What's he doing?
Exactly.
And then what are you doing to him?
Yeah.
Are you making him feel good?
Yeah.
Or are you making him feel bad? Are you expecting him to hurt you? Because he will if that's what you're expecting. Yeah. Because it means you don't have the shield up of love. That shield of love is essential in this interaction. So that's, I think, the most important thing for people to understand. This shield of love is how you have successful romantic relationships, as well as obviously the beginnings of that shield is how you have good friendships and good family relationships. So, you know, this is where it all comes back to self-love, guys. Love, 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 love. Fearlessness is love. Yeah. Happiness is love. It's all love, guys.
And just to completely wrap up now, you know, you look at people like Amelia and I, we literally met, I don't even know, I think it might have been December last year, and literally soul sisters instantly. We are just completely inseparable. That's what happens when you love yourself. You very quickly find the people that are mirroring your vibration. And that's where we need to be getting to, guys. We need to be having these conscious communities where we are mirroring each other. There it is. Absolutely, I have no threat with Amelia whatsoever. I love this girl, and you know, I know that me and her are going to completely change the world together. Like, there is, you know, and that's what it's about. It's not like, what did they used to say at school? Oh, girls are so bitchy. It's not like that.
Yes. Someone said that to me as well. They're like, oh, you know, girls competing. And someone was talking about like being a coach or competing with me. And I was like, honey, I just did a live with Al Pasoni, Jen Edwards, and Lucy Davis. If I had anyone that was competing with me, it would be them. And we don't give a shit. We're out here just trying to love this world better, you know? So the women that are the closest to who I am, oh, my dog's on screen now. The women that are the closest to what I am, we don't have competition. So we're leading by example here. This is what Empress Evolution is about. Find your soul sisters. They'll help you make good decisions. But remember this, if you are toxic, then you might be the one that gets left behind by your high vibration friends. So everyone needs to work on their toxicity, which is their fear within, which again, you were born with it. It's not your fault. It's been there since you were born. You think it's part of you. It isn't. Sounds like it's you, but it isn't. It's your job to love yourself and take action, find a teacher, do the work, and life can be great regardless of what you're seeing outside. It can happen, and we will create a new world. And we need all of you. You are part of the army. You are here to be part of the army. So please sign up and And here's what I'm saying though. Here's what I'm saying though. This is what my angels are saying, so I don't want it to be misunderstood. They're showing it like in World War II, when they would advertise to the 18 to 24-year-olds, say, please come and sign up. That's what I'm saying. Sign up to be a part of God's army. But to be a member of God's army, you have to pass the medical, which is that you love yourself. You have to pass the physical, which is that you love yourself. Once you've done that, you're now a true warrior of love and light for God. You can join with the rest of the people that are of your vibrational frequency, and together we change the world. This is how we do it, guys. This is it.
Bring on new earth. That's what I say. Amelia, I love you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Ladies and gents, please do hit the thumbs up button, share this with anybody that needs to listen today, and please do remember to hit subscribe. Amelia's details will be down below in the description. And once again, guys, thank you so much for sticking with us. Amelia, mwah, I love you, my darling.
Love you. Bye. Love you, everybody.
Love you, darling. Thanks all. Bye-bye.